Hey, you guys. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Life Coaching with MDR. I hope you guys are having a good Friday. If not, I hope it gets better. Remember, it's just a bad day and not a bad life. You know, we all have bad days. So I just wanted to jump on here and, inspire, uplift, encourage for somebody to grow a little bit more today. So, I was listening to TD Jakes yesterday, and he was talking about being branded. You know, the wounds that are left after you go through something, and the reason why you still can remember those things is because that's your brand. It's like branding your company. That's something that you're proud of. So you'll share that information with everybody you come in contact with. I'm forever, pumping up my company, Tranquil Flames, and because that's my baby, that's my brand, right? So you don't think about the scars that have been left on your heart or in your psyche or on your skin. I have a scar on my knee that I can tell you exactly when it happened, at what age I was, because it left a big enough scar on my knee, and now I can laugh about it. But that scar has a message. It has a story. Just like a brand for your company, it has a message. It has a story. It has a motto, right? And the reason why you are branded is so that you can share your story. Say, for instance, if I'm wearing shorts and somebody said, "Oh, what happened to your knee?" Because they can see my scar. And oftentimes we're trying to hide our scars because we don't want anybody to ask us any questions. We don't want anybody to expose what we've been through. We don't want the world to know that we had to jump through hurdles and we had to climb mountains and we had to be in the valley. We had to endure. We had to learn how to understand that our journey is our journey. We ain't competing with nobody. This is our race. And we had to go through so much to get where we are now that oftentimes people just, we find ourselves just wanting to, what's the word? We find ourselves just wanting to be in the spotlight of the goodness of who we are. But we want to leave the ugly part behind. We don't want nobody to know that part. We don't want nobody to know that we cried last night. We wake up in the morning, we put our makeup on. Well, not as much now during the pandemic, but there was a time we wake up in the morning and put our makeup on, get all beautified, and get our day started and go to work and put a smile on our face. We don't want nobody to know the ugly stuff. Like there's a saying that there's a chapter or a page in our book we do not read out loud, and we all have pages in our book and chapters in our book that we don't read out loud. We don't want people to know, but that's your brand. That is, as my pastor would say, that's the meat and the potatoes that people will get full off on, to know that they're not just going through something that nobody else has experienced, that this is just not an isolated event, that this young lady went through something drastic and she came out on the other side better. If she can do it, I can do it. Your brand is your story. Your brand is your message. So don't cover up who you really are. Somebody needs to know that. And I just feel like somebody need to hear that. Could just be me, like I say all the time. So you have to not be ashamed, not be embarrassed about things you've endured, things you went through, things that challenged you, the adversity, the traversity, the impact that certain situations had on your life. It's your brand. It's your message. It's your story. And the more you feel comfortable with sharing it, the more impact you'll have on people in their walk, in their journey, in their race, to know that if you made it, so can I. Someone told me, I want to say on Tuesday or Wednesday, they inboxed me and they was like, the reason why you made it through everything you've been through was for me. And when I say that, hit me so hard, because sometimes I feel like this is in vain. I'm not going to front. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I pack my little inspiration and encouragement up and I put it away, because sometimes I don't feel like I'm reaching anybody. You know, people ain't hitting like, people ain't hitting love, folks ain't commenting. And I'm like, is this in vain? If I'm not reaching anybody, then it's pointless. Excuse me. It's pointless. It is. I shouldn't be doing this. I just need to find me another lane and get in that, right? But then God always sends somebody to say, you're doing what you're supposed to do. You reaching somebody. And when that person sent me that message, it hit me so hard. Like, wow, you went through what you went through. You survived it, not just for you, but for me. And I want you to take that and use that for yourself. That what you've already endured, what you've already been through, what you've already survived was not just for you. It was for somebody else. And if you hide that part of you from people who need it, then they can't grow either. That is growth, to be able to stand and tell your truth. No matter how ugly, no matter how hard it has been, to know that you survived something that has taken people out. And I ain't talking about just death. I'm talking about change the whole person of who they are. Don't get me wrong. I've been through some stuff and I am definitely not the same. I am definitely not the same sweet, gullible, quick to want to jump in and help, because people have taken that and ran from that. And I get it all. Don't let people change you. That's not what it is. I'm definitely not letting anybody change me, but I'm definitely changing who I share my goodness with. And I think oftentimes we get caught up in the notion of not letting people change us. But oftentimes, the people that are saying don't let people change you are the people that's reaping the benefits of your goodness who don't deserve it. And that's all I'm going to say about that. So, no matter what, no matter how hard, no matter how embarrassing it may seem, when you open your mouth about what you've endured, it's not just for you. It's for somebody else. Y'all have a good weekend. If you're in Memphis, come out tomorrow to a pop-up shop at 2988 Austin P Highway between 1 and 6 p.m. Come check me out, my business out, Tranquil Flames, Melanin Magic, and all the other Black-owned businesses that will be there too tomorrow. And y'all have a good weekend. Rain, sleet, snow, sunshine, whatever the weather brings, just know that it still can be a good day. Don't worry about the weather. Remember, we are a thermostat and not a thermometer. Peace.